Hello and welcome everybody back to Warcraft podcast number 31. This is a solo show once again, struggling to find a guest, and it's also a little delayed because we had to wrap up Dreamhack, we have to get ready for the World Championships, and we got the War3 Champions Finals currently, as well as the last leg of the ESL Meisterschaft Season 4, so busy times for the Back2Warcraft team. But I found the time now to record a podcast. Sorry for the delay. We have a lot of things to talk about. And this is basically a summary of what's happening at the moment because we have so much stuff going on. As I introduced already, Dreamhack, the seasons are over and we have one more event, the $130,000 event in Stockholm. We will cover the War3 Champions Finals, which start tomorrow, as well as a lot of different stuff. ESL Meisterschaft continues in 2022. Big qualifier tonight. We also have good news from W3CL, and we have a new initiative, which should be really, really fun next year, and that is the War3 Nations League. So basically today, we talk about tournaments and everything around it. So players and tournaments are the topic of the day. And as we said, we wrapped up Dreamhack in Asia. We were all a little bummed out because during the season we got the news that Dreamhack wouldn't be continued in 2022, which is of course a bummer. We explained it already in a previous podcast. This is like 1/3 of the total prize pool of Warcraft 3 in 2021. And this was also a big help when it comes to producing things, of course. You need a little more than just prize money to start a tournament like this at this scale. So yeah, that was a bummer. So it's also a little tricky because I think we're all aware right now that it's really, really hard for Chinese players to make it to Europe at the moment, because they have to go into quarantine, which can take up to 2 weeks or even 2 to 4 weeks is I think what it is right now. So we were aware that some Chinese will probably not take it too serious, and that reflects in the results, I guess, and this definitely reflected in the performance of 120 in the playoffs, where he played random against Fortitude and was just a very questionable performance to say the least, but we've seen this from him before. If he doesn't care, I never get this though, because it was still money. Like, if you already at the computer and play, then why not play your best and try to make it one round further? But I think this is, 120, right? 120 is 120. There were some accusations of like insub, of match fixing. I don't think if you match fix that obvious. I think this was rather disappointment, because obviously they played the entire season, the Chinese players, and they were of the opinion, as it was released so far, that the final would be in Beijing, and then of course for them it's a lot easier. But since the finals aren't in Beijing anymore, they have a tough time making it to the finals, and maybe that was just 120's frustration regarding the move of the championship from Beijing to Stockholm. It could have still been a lot of money for him. I don't know. That was a little bit of a flaw. The finals were still good, man. Colorful really brought it. And we had good games, so that's the most important, I think. So with the last season of Dreamhack finished and all the ESL Weekly Cups finished that hand out ESL Pro Tour points, the weeklies continue for like 3 more weeks, but only for money, not for the points. We have the final rankings, and that means we probably have the list of 16 players that will make it to Stockholm. And now we want to dissect the ratings, the rankings a little bit, and see who's going and who's not. So we start with America because that's the easiest one. By far the easiest one. Let me take a look at the screen right here. It is Hitman and Cruncher. And it's pretty obvious. They will go. It's not confirmed somewhere, but you know, I heard some people whistling. Carson said both are trying everything to make it. So that's a good sign. America represented strong by Hitman and Cruncher. And then we also had the confirmation of Insub that he's invited. That was on Twitter. And that means that there is a replacement going on. This could, of course, mean that there is an American player replaced, but I don't think so. From what I've heard, Cruncher and Hitman will both go. So, Insub pretty excited about this, as you can see here on his Twitter. Holy shit, I just got invited to the main Dreamhack event in Sweden. This is effing insane, dude. He needs to get a passport, but it should all work out for the Canadian. So he's representing the Americas as well. This means one of the other regions will have one player less. And with that, we might move over to Asia already. As I explained, it is really hard for the Chinese. And I think we can assume that none of the Chinese will make it. Because for the travel, it's just such a pain. Being stuck in a hotel for 2 weeks is taking quite an effort. It's a $130,000 event, but you know, they're all streaming. Their main income is streaming. Can you stream from a Chinese hotel? I don't know. Probably not. Most of them are family fathers. It's rough. So maybe from the rankings, it's Colorful 120, Lin, and Fortitude. I heard some talks about Fortitude trying to make it. Not sure about that though. So let's say we have to replace at least 3 players. Then we go down the list. Lawlight is qualified as 16th player already, because he's region independently the best player with his 325 points. Then Remind would be invited. Then afterwards we got 2 Chinese again with 15 Sway and Fly, so we exclude them, I guess. And then it would be Sock. And then a big gap with Mikael and Thunder. So my assumption is that Insub is getting a slot that was originally given to an Asian player, as we have Moon, Focus, Chemico 3. So in 4, Lola at 5, Remind 6, and then Sock probably 7, plus the 8 one would be Insub. That's my guess for now. So those are the players, and yeah, I think we can assume. Like, Lin is living in China, even though he's Korean. We shouldn't expect Lin to go through that hassle, which is a shame. But the lineup is still good with mostly the Koreans. It's basically an upgraded Anaheim at this point, where we started the Dreamhack Regionals also without the Chinese, because that was the beginning of the pandemic. And they couldn't travel. And now we're at hopefully the end of the pandemic. And they still can't make it. Very, very unfortunate. But it's still Americas versus Europe versus Korea then. And it's still a great lineup if you ask me. I don't have any information about this. It's just my assumption from what I've heard from social media, from some people behind the scenes. That would be my assumption. Moon, Focus, Chemico, maybe Fortitude, So in Lawlight, Remind, and Sock. It's damn powerful. And I like they could have given the slot to Mikael, who has 135 points. He would be next up in the list. But Insub has more than twice the amount of Mikael. So I like that they break up the regions a little bit and give it to the player who's most deserving when it comes to points. And now you might think, wait, Kraft has 290 points. He got more points than Insub. He should be invited. And here's the European region then, where of course we got Happy and Foggy on top. Happy the Dominator, obviously. And before we talk about Happy, let's just wrap this up real quick and get the 16 players. So Happy, Foggy. Foggy is pretty much confirmed. Hawk said pretty early on he's getting his visa ready. X-Lord got time off. The very unfortunate case is Johnny Cage here in Europe. 5th place, probably his biggest accomplishment to date. Made 1 semifinal, 2 quarterfinal. Really, really well done from him throughout the year. The thing is that Johnny Cage is a policeman. in Russia. And I didn't know this, and I think no one that I know of knew this. If you're a policeman in Russia, you can't travel to places except a very small list of countries. Like, you can't travel the West. Let me look this up. Police, Russia, travel. So, there was a list. I'm not traveling to Russia. List. Okay, so no, damn it. Very well prepared, Neo. Very well prepared. So this was installed in like 2014 or something, due to the issues with Crimea, or with Ukraine and Crimea. So the country list is Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. And there's also some other countries like Vietnam, Cuba, and China. So again, if the finals happen in Beijing, Johnny Cage would be able to go. And now he can't. That is so heartbreaking. I'm pretty sure he said that already. It's a little bit in the shadows, but it's out there that Johnny Cage won't go. And this is why I assume that Graf is in. It's just my thinking at this point. Because Blade can't or refuse to go to offline events as well, so I would never expect him to leave the country or show up at an event. So the next one in line would be Graf, and with Insub invited, I just assume that Graf is invited as well, because Graf has more points than Insub, and then the spot would have gone to Graf anyway. So really cool for him, man. The rise of Graf throughout the past 2 years was really, really good, and he's such a passionate guy, and it's always cool. He's always supporting so many people and has good vibes, and his social media game plus Insub's social media game will bring a special flavor, I think, to the finals. So happy. Oh boy, where do we start? There was a twit longer earlier this week. So you don't have to worry, by the way. Happy by now has confirmed his participation, but I think we still have to talk about it because there's some misconception and there's some things that are pretty narrow-minded from his point of view. And in this community, unfortunately, oftentimes people pick up an opinion from someone who's very high up in the community, whether it be a high-skilled player or just people with a lot of followers or a big voice in the scene. So I don't want this to turn into an echo chamber, really, and I want to dispute a couple of things that Happy said in this tweet longer. So he starts things off, and sorry for the YouTube guys, my camera looks shit. It says, well, I guess it should be happy that there's a LAN tournament for big for big prize money, but in reality, it's the opposite. And then he continues to complain for a long time. So first of all, he says that hosting LAN tournaments is really not what one should do, or that that's kind of crazy to do that during a pandemic. And then he basically breaks down that it's a lot of trouble. So to enter Sweden, I think you either have to be vaxxed or you need a PCR test and just show people that you're not infected. And according to this tweet longer, Happy is not vaxxed because he didn't need it, he said. But all right, then he continues that he has to go through such a hassle. He complains that Sweden as a country is not really good because a lot of people need the visa. I don't. I know the Europeans don't. I know the US or the North American guys don't. And I guess the Koreans don't need it either. So it's basically just the Russians and maybe Foggy, but I'm not sure. So probably Happy Hawk with Johnny Cage not able to go, and maybe Foggy. So it's not many. There was an issue getting a visa, I think, because Happy's living in Moscow, and in Moscow, there's a lot of COVID cases at the moment, unfortunately, and they locked down the city to a degree, which fell hand in hand with a couple of national holidays as well. So there was a certain time, like two weeks or something, where nothing was really open. So that was the problem getting a visa. I can understand that a little bit. It's of course not too easy, but hey, that's how the world works. And I guess in the Warcraft scene, there's not many tournaments in countries where you don't need a visa if you're from Russia. And the good thing about Sweden is that you can get a visa for esports tournaments now. There was a problem around summer when the international for Dota was originally supposed to be in Sweden as well. But a lot of people couldn't get a visa because you couldn't get a visa if you're in a world-class gaming competition. You could get a visa if you're in a world-class, like, normal sports competition. Let's say the World Cup of Football would be held in Sweden, then these football players would get an extra visa. But that didn't go for gaming. And afterwards, after this discussion between, I guess, Valve and Sweden, Valve moved the event from Sweden to Budapest, one of these cities. I always confuse them. And then there was a big debate between people from the gaming industry in Sweden, which is big, and now this rule that applies for normal competitors of normal sports goes for gaming as well, so the elite sports kind of thing. So if you're taking part in a world championship in gaming, you get a visa. Relatively easy. Also without, like, a vaccine certificate. So Sweden is good. It's relatively easy to enter Sweden. Actually, Sweden has one of the lighter restrictions probably in all of Europe. Way easier than China, for example, where you will be quarantined no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. Like, you will have to stay in a hotel for a certain amount of time. It's not the case in Sweden. All you need to do is either a vaccine certificate or a PCR test, or 2 PCR tests or something. So I don't think this is a big issue, to be honest. Yeah, it's a little annoying. You gotta get out of your house. You gotta go to the embassy, which was closed, to be fair, when Happy was writing this. So I guess it got a little easier. But yeah, I mean, getting a visa, we've been to China so many times. And I know in Russia it's a little different than in Germany, so I don't want to compare things. But if you're competing for up to $50,000 for the winner, then taking a day to get your documents ready and go to the embassy, or maybe 2, shouldn't be too hard, especially when you're living in Moscow. If you're living outside, like Foggy used to, I think when Foggy originally applied for the Chinese visa, he had to travel 8 hours by train or something. Super, super crazy. Digitalized world, eh? So Happy's biggest complaint then was that he has to do some PCR tests, which is really no issue. I took, I don't know, dozens of PCR tests, and you go to a doctor or a station or whatever, they stick something up your nose, and then you get the result in a couple of hours. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost much. Here in Germany, it was free. Oh, it wasn't free. PCR test was never free. But we got reimbursed by companies. I know that much. And it's really not that expensive. Like, just for participating in the Dreamhack Regional Finals, you get $1,600. If you have to pay like $50 for a PCR test just to get in, you're still making bank, I guess. Especially if you're happy. And will probably go higher than top 16. So, yeah, I don't really get that. So I guess he will be quarantined still. Like 3 days or something. Until the PCR tests come in. And yeah, I mean, he can practice from there. It's just playing from a hotel room instead of your living room, I guess. And I guess the internet infrastructure in Sweden is supposed to be great. So ping will not be a big issue there, I guess, as well. I don't really think it's a big issue. It's just, it feels like he's very, very comfortable in playing from home. And I think this is also something that Carmack wrote, because Gascat was, Carmack is like the product manager of the entire Extreme Masters. And Carmack said, what was the direct quote? It was hilarious. Carmack said, I'm getting the impression of a person that does not like being inconvenienced. And I love that. It's just... yeah, man, it's just really not the biggest deal. Of course you would rather play from home, where you're living next to the flow servers and have a 3MS. But man, you must see the appeal of LAN tournaments with having everybody there and finally getting the Happy vs. Moon on LAN conditions. Finally getting the Happy versus Hitman on LAN conditions. That is what the scene is looking forward to. This is the biggest reason to tune into a Warcraft tournament. Don't you get that? And we can't have it any other way. We can't have interregional competition for such an amount of money. And the production. I mean, our production was kind of fine, but if you're all in the studio, you can do so much more. You can do so much content. Everything looks better, obviously, than the living rooms of the players. As you can, like, you have the ability to get a different camera angle from a player. For example, like that alone, right? So, to quote Happy, long story short, it's a shitty idea to host the LAN tournament right now. It's me, back again. Other tournaments do it. We had the International, we have Counter-Strike Majors, we're gonna run Counter-Strike and StarCraft even. From Katowice. And then, yeah, another Happy quote is, so much hassle and nerves for what? So, the hassle is going to the embassy, get a visa, do 2 PCR tests, spend 3 days in a hotel, and then play for $50,000. Like, this is more than he made this entire year, for sure. I have to look it up, like, the actual numbers, but let's just assume he wins the event, right? Currently, in 2021, Happy made $24,000. So that's double his yearly income for a week or something, compared to 10 months of grinding. Oh, of course, you have to subtract streaming and stuff, but yeah, he doesn't see the bigger picture at all. Then he continues, wouldn't it be much better to let this prize pool $130,000 for one more year of ESL Pro Tour? So, and this is where he's really short-sighted. I mean, with the prize money, obviously you can do that. It's 25,000 per season, 10 in Europe, 10 in Asia, 5 in the Americas. So that would work out. But you have to pay admins, you have to pay casters, you have to pay production, and all the orga stuff, social media people. It feels like, from his point of view, the only people that are getting paid are players. You know, that's just not how it is. Not at all. And yeah, it would be the same production than before and not this highlight. Plus there was also I think 25,000 from weekly cups or something. Of course he would love to have his ice cream money from home. But his tweet longer is a very biased opinion, very short-sighted, even a little uneducated on things, I think. Because then he said, why not host this tournament in South Korea? Quite sure all the participants don't need a visa to visit South Korea. Yeah, but you'll be quarantined too, mate. Without a vaccine, I guess. It's a lot harder to get into South Korea than it is to get into Sweden. Especially if you're not vaccinated. So I don't want to make this a discussion about being vaxxed or not. In my personal opinion, everyone should get vaxxed, except if this could be like a... No, in my opinion, everybody should get vaxxed. There might be a couple of people who got health issues and really can't do it. But for a lot of people, I think they're just looking for excuses. But yeah, this is really not about it. I'm not too surprised, since this whole topic is treated very differently in Russian society than it is in, I guess, German society. So I don't want to play a blame game or anything. I think the big issue was just being a little uncomfortable, or that he can't play from home anymore, that he really has to go through like a couple of stages to get there. So basically he's lazy when it comes to anything else but playing Warcraft, where he is of course the GOAT. I'm very much looking forward to seeing my friends again, my Korean friends, especially Law Liot. We're talking a lot on WeChat already, and oh man, I can't wait. It's been almost 2 years. I want to hug these guys so bad. Of course, it's a little unfortunate to not have probably not have the Chinese here. Once again, nobody confirmed this. The Johnny Cage story is pretty sad. But I'm looking forward to seeing X-Lord on great conditions. I'm looking forward to meeting Insub and Cruncher for the first time. Looking forward to seeing Hitman and how he changed in the past almost 2 years. And if we get a Chinese there, man, that would be sick. Like, if any of the Chinese player decides to go to this event and go through the quarantine, which is really annoying for them, then man, they should get our support. Because that's really uncomfortable. Super long flight, quarantine, etc, etc, etc. Very different culture. So what I don't know at the moment is, will we be casting? Like, I expect it, of course, because, like, who else, really? But it's not confirmed to us yet that we're going, like Remote Todd, Carsten, and I. So that's all a little bit in the limbo. If we go, which I assume, I really hope we can explore Stockholm a bit and are not locked in a bubble. As far as I know, we're all vaxxed and should be able to go to bars, if you ask me. Would love to meet the Soviet War League team, like Team Sweden, Starshape, Thorzane, Endars, all these guys. Good. I don't know how far away he lives, but, you know, a little... just hanging out with Warcraft friends in a bar. Or get some food. There's some people from the community, like Guti, that I would love to meet. And this could be one of our last international opportunities to do so. So yeah, very much looking forward to traveling and being in the studio. I really hope we get Kilaris as a host. That was super fun at the regionals, but he's a very, very busy man. I'm not sure if he has the time and if he's available, but oh, I would love to have Kilaris. As yeah, this is probably one of our last chances to have a big production, and then I really want to meet him. So as I said, Happy confirmed his participation. So the lineup is Hitman, Cruncher, Insub, Happy, Foggy, Hawk, X-Lord, Krav, Moon, Focus, Chemico, So and Lorelei, Dreamline +1, which is, I don't know who that is. It's gonna be cool, guys. It's gonna be real cool. I hope you tune all in to the last ESL competition in Warcraft 3. So, moving on. War 3 Champions Finals. Oh, so happy about this. We talked about this in the last podcast, that we took over the Orga. And we had a couple of stretch goals, and you kind of all blew them away. So, last time we had this big donation by Governor, which was $2,500, and he put that right in at the beginning, or during the draft, I think. And then there was not much support from the community last time, which was also due to the fact that we had this hot crowdfunding shortly before this. So this time we are almost at $3,000 with only, quote unquote, $500 donation from Governor. So we got around $2,000 more from the community than we had last time. And that is due to some stretch goals we did. So, for example, for the first $500, we released all players step by step, but we did. And we had some show matches. Like, we have a GNL show match. We'll very, very likely have a second GNL show match as well. The first one between Flutschfinger and Link. The other one between Grinchy and Colorado. And the cool thing about that is that all of them are gym members, like from the gym Discord, and they are learning the game. And they got coaches, and the coaches will play, will cast, so they can discuss what they tried to learn, what their game plan was, and, you know, just show how great the coaching of gym is. We got Qbert and Cithrin up. Looking forward to this a lot. The FFA community came on immediately and said, hey, we want to do a 4-player FFA. We got the casters. We will organize some players. Let's go. So we got Hawk, Shake, Trunks, and Aishan. And the cast again with High Tech and Sexy, which is going to be great. Looking forward to this. And that's a lot of fun. Putting up stretch goals, rallying the troops, and a lot of people bought these profile pictures. We got around 80 purchases already, which is $400, which is a lot. And the tournament hasn't even started yet, so that's really cool. A lot of direct contributions. You guys claimed the codes like crazy, so the community is doing very, very good here. So we worked night and day, and I guess we have our new overlay ready for this weekend. I tested it for hours in the past 2 days, and I can't find any bugs anymore. At least not obvious bugs. So we will do another stretch goal and releasing our new UI that we talk about for, I guess, 5 months now. 4 or 5 months. It's finally done. I feel like a little kid on Christmas that is finally able to play with his new toy. God damn, I love this. And yeah, we have the matches. The round of 16 is going to be quite cool. I mean, we talked about this last time, I think, as well, that a lot of people are, of course, I don't want to call it worried, but upset that Happy isn't playing. And we discussed this in length last time already. But hey, we got Moon, we got Hitman, we got Foggy back, we got Todd in. I am very excited about this one. So the matches are Johnny Cage versus Lawlight, the winner faces Hawk. Craft versus Fortitude, the winner faces Colorful. Neutron faces Todd, and then the winner faces Hitman. And Spiral versus Sock, and then the winner faces Dice. And the 4 winners of these matches will join Focus Chemico, Moon, and Foggy in the round of 8 next weekend. So what's really cool, and once again, one of the MVPs of this community, a little bit unsung, is Toxie, who set up a new server to make the conditions for Europe and Russia versus China even better than they already are. So there is improvement compared to Season 7 when it comes to Korea versus Russia. And now there's improvement when it comes to Russia versus China as well. So goddamn, this man is working so hard. I'm really, really thankful for his support. Like, we tried to come up with the best solutions, and he helped us with that, and gave us thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and a lot of information. And now he just put on a new server, and my god, this guy is so good. And he's never happy with his results and keeps on working on it. So, big shout out to Toxie. That is, I guess, everything you need to know about War 3 Champions at the moment. We'll talk about it next week again. Yeah, as I said, super happy about everybody that stepped up. The one thing that I'm a little disappointed about is that a couple of weeks ago, I reached out to a lot of community initiatives and said, hey, we're going to do this War 3 Champions thing. We had a lot of viewers last time. Of course, we advertise War 3 Champions, but we can put the spotlight on more, on your fun map, on your homepage, on your initiative. Like, tell us and give us something. Ideally, of course, a little trailer or a video. Could just be a slide, just a picture, just a promo graphic. Then we can talk about it. And unfortunately, I got nothing. Not a single picture. And at this point, of course, I could do it myself and do a graphic for like Wikipedia, War 3 Info, Gym, Hive, everything. But I feel like it's not up to me. I reached out to probably everyone. So if you hear this, we still have time. Give me anything. Give me anything. I will promote the hell out of you. Okay, War 3 Champions. Gonna be amazing. Looking forward to this tomorrow. And hopefully you like the new overlay. There will be feedback threads everywhere, and you can tell us your opinion. ESL Meisterschaft continues in 2022. Super happy about it. Which is, of course, a little bit security for our jobs as well. So, yeah. Today is the first qualifier, and we kind of tried to rally the troops alongside the German casts like Slash and Sparta, Florentineville, the Creepjack community, and we got 65 signups at the moment for the qualifier. Isn't that damn great, man? I'm so excited for this. How many did we have last time? I think like 23 for that's 3 times the players. Of course, they have to check in, right? At the moment, they're just participating, but that's a great sign that people are really thankful that ESL continues at least a little bit. Even like ESL Germany is a lot different from the global ESL thing. They can do their own decisions, of course. 65, and there's so many cool players. Like Remo will play. A lot of streamers will play. We got former pros back, like Leon, Raptor Gaming, who's now back to streaming / playing a bit. And a lot of people followed the call from the community. This is the most important thing. Like, we have to keep the sign-up numbers high. This will be important for another topic a little bit down the road here. So the Playing Ducks are doing amazing. The Spartans are doing amazing. I'm probably forgetting a lot of people here. Raptor Gaming is doing amazing. A lot of people are signing up for this, and this is exactly what we need. I'm very excited about this. Rooting for, of course, Mr. Remo Demo. Rooting for Scars. Rooting for Young Hofer. Shout out to Berlin. Looking forward to seeing Trunks as well. My boy Coloss / So for the German scene, this is amazing. Like German / Austria scene. And we can unite. This can be a sign for us. Like, if we all bring our A game, if we all put in some effort, we can do such great things. And this is my perfect segue after praising the sign-up numbers for ESL Meisterschaft. I gotta praise War 3 IL. They had a rough time for a bit between like season 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, I think. The clan league of the Warcraft 3.info page. The initial hype was pretty good, and we had good teams like Dust and Sweden, UMAD, of course, and a couple of others. But as other tournaments became more important for us, like, for example, Dreamhack in the past 2 years, we had to shift the focus away from their league. Basically covered only the finals if we were able to. Last time we covered one semifinal, and then there was no scheduled date where we were able to broadcast the tournament's finals, and the players, like, we couldn't align, basically. So this is such an unthankful job. They have like 3 divisions. They got a lot of teams, and some of the team managers are not the easiest to work with. So I know they're going through a lot. This is all not pro play, of course. It's not like the managers are getting paid for it. It's not like the organizers are getting paid for it. Nobody's getting paid for it, except maybe the winners a little bit. That is enough for a pizza or something. And it feels like clans are becoming more important again, especially taking the lead here Raptor Gaming, Playing Ducks, and Power Rangers, for example. KO as well. They're signing up big names. Like, even if it's only for some tournaments, we got Hawk back, we got a Soen in the team, we got a Focus in the team. Mikael's playing for Raptor, so bigger names coming, and people are uniting again in clans. And I think this is really, really cool. We see at the Playing Ducks, Starbuck at Dreamhack, how often he said how amazing the support of the Playing Ducks is. And I love it. This is what we need. So since we have no Dreamhack next year, we will focus a lot more on W3IL. Very well aware that this is not the highest play we've ever seen, but man, Clan Wars are so much fun to cast and watch. So this is what we will do. It's starting already in November. November is pretty packed for us with Meisterschaft Finals, Dreamhack Finals, and I think there was another thing. Warcraft Champions Finals, of course, in the past 2 weeks. So from December on, we'll have more time for Clan Wars. Gonna go back to Clan Wars, and you just have, like, we will do our best to educate you on the lineups for the clans. Maybe you read through the Wikipedia pages already to see where my favorite player is playing at the moment, and then pick a team and cheer for them, because they deserve it, man, for all these efforts they go through. We'll do crowdfunding there as well for the team league, but I guess at a given time. Shout out to Ugri Duro no Hero for doing this. Another good news here, as we're spreading quite a few good news. 4 Players Cups will continue throughout November and December, and then they will reevaluate. So, same thing as with the ESL Meisterschaft qualifier. Sign up for the 4 Players Cups. We need the numbers to be high. The good thing about the 4 Players Cups is they have bronze, silver, and gold tier. So if you're new to competitive Warcraft or to whatever, if you're climbing the ranks of War3 champions, sign up for the Bronze Cup. If you're feeling a little more confident, sign up for the Silver Cups. I guess with Meisterschaft being over soon, we will cover the Bronze Cups even more. I think we should at least delay Theorycraft or switch the Theorycraft day to free up the Thursday time slot for the Silver Cup, because I think the Silver Cup is one of the most exciting ones. And then, of course, Fridays is Gold Cup time. Really, really thankful for the trust and opportunity that 4 Players gives us to have 3 cups per week. Once again, it's not only the prize money, it's also the staff behind the tournaments. So we gotta reward them. 4 Player Cups, sign up as we increase our coverage for that. And my favorite community driven tournament that has been announced recently, Warcraft Nations League, is coming back. 2nd edition. It hurt my heart and soul that we weren't able to cast the first one, because I guess there was Dreamhack or something. The second one will start in 2022, I think January, and so far confirmed are Korea, China, and the reigning champions USA. And I am so excited for this. Nation Wars in any tournament, in any game, in anything, one of the most hyped formats, I think. And that these guys bring it back is so cool. It's once again a lot of trouble to organize all this, but man, they have hype videos on their Twitter. They wait. Okay, let me. This is a tournament that has their own Twitter account to keep you guys up to date of what they do. And they got hype videos there. They keep you up to date. They are doing so many things so right. And I hope that the lineups are great. I hope that more and bigger player will be able to play now that Dreamhack is no more. And that they just want to represent their country. We're not going to get the Infies and THs of this world, but we got a team China, which is pretty damn great. And this is, of course, the magic of the Flow servers that we're able to do this. Quite a few good news, eh? Lineup for War3 Champions looking good. Crowdfunding for War 3 Champions looking good. Lineup for Dreamhack looking good. W3IL and War 3 Nations League look good. So I wonder if there's anything else I can talk about. Don't think so. I'm super hyped for the finals, and I gotta get ready for the broadcast now, I guess. And I'm gonna cheer for Remo. So I think we just have this as a little bit of a short episode, and hopefully we can talk a little more about War 3 Champions finals and everything else. Maybe next week we got a confirmed list of players for Dreamhack, then we can talk about that and maybe do a little round table for that. How about that? And we get your feedback on our new UI, hopefully. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm expecting to get a lot of shit for that, because it's very different from what we do now, or from what we have now. So, take away from this: sign up for the cups, sign up for the qualifiers, support your favorite streamers, and buy CORSAIR gear, of course, as CORSAIR has prolonged our sponsorship until the end of the year. You can find the link on back2warcraft.com/support if you want to get some new gear. A mouse, one of these wonderful headsets. If you want to cut the cord of your keyboards, of your mouse, of your headset, CORSAIR got it for you. CORSAIR is ready. Not only cutting the cord at TVs, but also at hardware. The stigma of having low latency or high latency on cordless mouse is gone. Is no more. Just feels like if there's a cord attached to it, you won't even notice it. And since CORSAIR is supporting us, would be great if you would support CORSAIR. If you're looking for a new PC, CORSAIR got you covered. If you want a new RAM to run 7 instances of Photoshop at the same time, go ahead. They got DDR for you. If you're looking for a new chair, CORSAIR. That rhymes. And what rhymes is good. CORSAIR is good. And of course, you can sub to our channel on Twitch. You can pledge at our Patreon. Fun map evening tomorrow as well, after War 3 Champions. I put out some new music recommendations of stuff that I discovered recently, which is, I think, a good roundup of what I listen to at the moment. And Carson and Remo are there for you too, of course. It was a rough 3 weeks, I'm not gonna lie, but we all recover and things are getting better, and I want to thank you all for very, very nice and kind words. Hopefully next time with a guest, hopefully with more good news. And once again, sorry for the delay. See you next week.